These are the top 10 horror movies you can watch on Netflix right now. Part 1. First, we have #Alive. This is a great zombie flick straight out of South Korea. It's about a Twitch streamer trying to survive a zombie apocalypse, but it's not the same old zombie story we've been getting for years. This is a super fresh take and it's just as funny as it is scary. At number 9 is The Platform. This movie has such a cool premise. It's about a vertical prison where food starts at the top and then gradually descends level by level. Now, even though there's plenty of food to start off with, sometimes the people at the bottom don't do that well. This movie is just different. It's definitely worth watching. Next is Gerald's Game, based on Stephen King's novel. It's about a woman on a romantic getaway with her husband. Now, the husband handcuffs the wife to the bed and they're about to get crazy when all of a sudden her husband dies of a heart attack. Now the wife is stuck, handcuffed to the bed at a remote lake house totally alone. Now the premise is a little bit ridiculous, but the performances are so good. You'll be really invested in this one. At number 7 is Cargo. It's about Bilbo Baggins in a zombie apocalypse with his family in remote Australia. And like other zombie movies on this list, it's just different. A lot of people might argue this is actually a tragedy and not a horror movie. Super powerful writing. It's the only one on the list where you might cry. And at number 6, we have Creep. This is an old-fashioned found footage indie horror movie and it's great. It's about a man who answers an online ad and drives to a stranger's house to film for the day. And things get real weird. It definitely lives up to the name. This movie is creepy. In part 2, we'll cover the top 5. Click plus for that. The top 10 horror movies you can watch on Netflix right now. At number 5, we have Creep 2. This is one of those rare situations where the sequel is actually better than the original. Just like The Godfather 2. It's about a video artist who drives to a remote house to do a video on a man claiming to be a serial killer. Turns out this wasn't a great idea, but the movie manages to capture the same creepiness and dark humor as the first one, but it still keeps it fresh. Next up is Let Me In. It's about a lonely 12-year-old that is bullied at school and ignored by his family. His only friend is this strange girl that only comes out at night who he becomes incredibly close with. Then things take a turn as the girl's caretaker disappears and a series of brutal murders takes place. This is one of those horror movies that's going to stay with you a few days after you've watched it. You have been warned. At number 3 is Raw. This movie is crazy. It's about a young vegetarian's first year at veterinary school. Trying to fit in with her new classmates, she tries raw meat for the first time. But the thing is, now that she's tried it, she starts craving raw meat. And not just that, but a lot of other stuff too. This movie is very graphic and unsettling. Get the children to safety. It follows is next. It's about a young woman who finds a new boyfriend and sleeps with him for the first time. Everything seems great, but then she figures out he betrayed her. He had a deadly curse he could only get rid of by passing it on to someone else through sex. So now she has a choice. Face the curse and probably die, or have sex with someone else to get rid of it. This movie creates a sense of anxiety so well, you will be on the edge of your seat the whole time. And the number 1 horror movie on Netflix is It. It's probably not a surprise to see it on here. It's one of the biggest horror movies in the last 10 years. It's won awards, it's based on arguably Stephen King's best book ever, and it's made over $700 million. And it's no surprise why people love it. Incredible writing, terrifying villain, and such a good story.